Ooh. What's up, Chicago? How y'all feeling? We are about to go live. Right? Are we ready? Are we set?
Powering on.
Y'all ready? It's your boy Maze Jackson. We're about to do our thing. Go live. We're going to discuss the What's in It for the Black People sample ballot. Are you ready? Who's out there? What's up, Brother Jackson? What's up, Camilla Williams? What's up, Tennille? What's up, everybody? We are about to do our thing. Getting ready. We're going to start. Derek, I was trying to play your theme song, but for whatever reason, it does not want to give me a play. All right. Well, Derek, I tried, man. I tried to get ready. I tried to play your What's in It for the Black, for the Maze Said theme song. But if you are tuned in, if you are listening, you are ready, we are here to discuss today the What's in It for the Black People sample ballot. Now, if you are anything like me, you understand that our ancestors and our people have fought for the right to vote and have fought for our right to vote. And so I don't take... I'm not one of these conspiracy theorists who believes that your vote doesn't count. So let's start there. I am not the anti the establishment person. I am, quite frankly, a black businessman that is trying to make it in America. I'm not a socialist. I don't want to turn the world over and give away everything. Quite frankly, I'm a tax-paying citizen, a businessman that is trying to prosper in the state of Illinois. But let me frame this discussion from whence it comes. So the other day I was sitting around and I went to the mailbox and I got a piece of mail. Now remember, this is the What's in It for the Black People discussion. Please take a moment and share the broadcast. If you all can do me a favor, take a moment and share the broadcast. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's out there watching. What's up to Sadiq? What's up to Camilla Williams? What's up to Tennille? What's up, Jason Harris, U of I? Freddie Baez, what's up, my brother? What's up to Otis Armstrong and Doma T? I see my man Dewan and Tennille. Thank you for sharing the video. So, the genesis of the What's in It for the Black People sample ballot was really based on a variety of things. But I decided that I had to do it when sorry guys. Sorry for the call. It all got started when I received a sample ballot in the mail. And I'm not going to talk about party affiliations, and I'm not going to bash anyone as it relates to their party. Quite frankly, just so we're all clear, I am a Democrat. I am a very proud Democrat, but I am not proud of some of the things that have been occurring on our watch. And, you know, I have talked a lot about what's in it for the black people. Maybe about 2 years ago, I started asking the question, what's in it for the black people? But I was sitting around the other day, and I went to the mailbox, and in the mailbox was a piece of literature. And this piece of literature came from a party that shall remain unnamed. And it told us and made recommendations as to who we should vote for. Now, because of our relationship, and when I say the black community's relationship with this party, it is our natural assumption that the information that they would send us would be in our best interest. Let's be clear. Black people are the most loyal voters in the Democratic Party. Do we disagree? Is there anyone out there that disagrees with me? Dewan, do you disagree? Marshall, do you disagree? Otis, what about you? Do you disagree? Doma T, would you all agree that black people are the most loyal members of the Democratic Party? So it would assume, I guess I have to tell the truth. We are the most loyal members of the Democratic Party. And so as loyal members of the Democratic Party, when they send us information, it is our hope that they would send us information about people that are in our best interest. And when I say our, I say black people. Now, let me just be frank. This is not a conversation. If you are white, you are Latino, you are Asian, you are happy, you are more than welcome to watch the conversation. But this is a conversation between me and black folks and what we need to do for black folks. So I get this thing in the mail, and as I get this in the mail, I start going through the list. And it started with me going through the list and looking at the list of recommended judges. Now the judges, I've always said that that judges are the most important people because those are the people that black folks are most likely to see. While we're all running around and we want to vote for Hillary Clinton, which I am supporting Hillary Clinton, we all tend to want to vote for president. And then when you get down to that list of judges, you're like, man, I don't know none of these names. So if you're anything like me, if you didn't get a palm card on the way in, you just start covering your eyes and picking. You might pick the names that sound black, pick the names that sound a certain way, but you really don't know. But I thought that this was particularly interesting because as I looked at the list of judges, I realized that there were people on this list that had demonstrated themselves to be enemies to our community. Now, when I say enemies to our community, what do I mean? I mean people that have passed laws, passed judgment, participated in things that have had a direct negative impact on the black community. And I said to myself, if everyone is like me, they would just take this list and they would go and vote without ever thinking twice about the people that they were voting for. And so mixed in this list, they got some great black names and some great names, but also mixed in there are people that have demonstrated time and time again that if they can get away with doing it to our community, that they will. And so as with that and looking at the list, I said it is now time to create the What's in It for the Black People Voters Guide. Now, let me begin with saying that I am unabashedly, unashamedly, this conversation is about the black self-interest. And this is not a perfect list. But what it is a list that goes just a step beyond the recommendations of our trusted friends. Shout out to the Cook County Bar Association for making my job a lot easier. But I wanted to go just a little bit further. So what I did was I went and did a Google search of every judge on the list. And as I Google searched those judges, I looked to see what cases, what things happened that would maybe offend the black community if they knew. But in the interest of full disclosure, instead of just leaving the decision or telling you why I said no or saying no, I decided to share with you why I said no or why we should not vote for them. So today we are going to take a journey through the What's in It for the Black People sample ballot. Not sample ballot, voter's guide. Okay, can you see it? Now, if you want to get a copy of this guide, or if you want to go through it with me, go straight to my website. My website, www.mazejacksonsaid.com. www.mazejacksonsaid.com. If you're out there, if you are watching, if you are listening, give me a shout. Can you take a moment, share the broadcast with your friends? Just hit the button. Just hit the button. Dewan, I know you shared. James Big Slim Davis, I see you out there. What's up, Robert Barclay? I see you out there too. I want to give everybody that's out there watching us a shout out throughout the show, so stick in and tune in with me. All right, so let's get started. Let's start with the top of the ballot. Now, this is the race that, well, let me back up. The first question when you go in on the ballot will be about the Safe Roads Amendment. Now, you've seen this. You've seen it all over TV and radio, and you've heard about it. And it's basically the Lockbox Amendment. And basically what it does is put the money that they collect from our taxes in a lockbox to protect it so that they can continue to build and expand our roads. So, this will be, now this is an educational moment, this will be a constitutional amendment. As a constitutional amendment, it means that members of the legislature will no longer have the opportunity to mess around or move the money for roads and bridges and infrastructure and play political games with it. Now, if we are to ask this question to black people, should we support this amendment? In my estimation, the answer is yes. Now, why is the answer yes? The answer is yes because we want to protect. I believe that infrastructure is our path to economic liberation. So, I think we need to build roads. I think we need to build more infrastructure. The key is, how will we participate in that rebuilding? Will we get the jobs? If you notice, white folks very rarely are running to the front asking for child care to be saved and programs and social programs. You always notice they're looking for a capital bill. A capital bill means that they're building roads and they got jobs and union contracts and opportunities. We want those opportunities to continue to flow and be protected. We just want to participate. So just think about it. As we move to the south suburbs, those roads need to be repaired. As that money comes in to repair those roads, we want to be the people building. So yes, I would recommend that black folks vote yes for the Safe Roads Amendment. Now, here's the big race that everybody's talking about. Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. Where you at out there? Are you all supporting Donald or Hillary? I am going to say that it is important for black folks to support Hillary Clinton. That's where I'm at. I'm not going to apologize. I know it's controversial, and I know that everybody's got an issue, but it's just where I am. Now, the fact of the matter is, I really don't even want to talk about this race anymore. Because no matter who you vote for in that race, they're probably going to have less effect on your lives than every other person that I'm going to talk about today. So, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, please support Hillary, but if you don't, you'll be sorry. Okay. Hey, y'all. Let's take a moment. Did you all catch my t-shirt today? Pretty cool, huh? We were discussing today on WVON how we live in a monarchy. All hail our king. Moving right along. All right, so now we're going to get into the United States Senator race. Now, in this, on the What's in It for the Black People Voters Guide, we said you pick. Now, normally a very opinionated person, happy to give you my insight. I'm really torn here, right? I don't know that much about Mark Kirk. I'm not going to say that I'm for Mark Kirk or pro Mark Kirk. I know a lot of people in the black community that do work with him, but when it comes to Tammy Duckworth, I just am not very happy with how she came into office, how she played Andrea Zopp to the left with the assistance of our senior U.S. Senator Dick Durbin, how she refused to come to the black community and address us, and now is expecting that we're going to just vote and roll over for her. So, once again, we didn't weigh in on that race. We told you to pick them. You make your decision, because in all actuality, neither one of them will probably pay very much attention to our community. So you pick them in that race. All right. Now to the most expensive race in the state of Illinois. Excuse me, I'm going to take a break. Hey, if you are looking for an opportunity to get the What's in it for the Black People sample, What's in it for the Black People voter guide, please go to www.maysjacksonsaid.com. www.maysjacksonsaid.com. You can also get it on my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and on the Mays Jackson page, as well as it will be shared. Go to the intelligence group. Shout out to the intelligence group. So, now we are faced with the race for a comptroller, which has become, excuse me, can I get Snapple as a sponsor, please? I drink so much peach Snapple. Now, I may stop drinking peach Snapple if I have to pay another penny an ounce. But, in the meantime, Snapple, help your boy out. All right. In the race for comptroller, this is where the rubber meets the road in the What's in it for the Black People voters guide. Now, Leslie Munger was appointed by Governor Rauner, and that he is one of the most unpopular people in the state of Illinois. So what Democrats are trying to do is hang that appointment on the comptroller. The Democrats, in turn, have put in the race Chicago City Clerk Susanna Mendoza. City Clerk Susanna Mendoza. Now, Susanna Mendoza grew up in Bolingbrook, so you can imagine how hard it is for me, knowing my loyalty to Bolingbrook, to say that in this race we are picking Comptroller Leslie Munger. Comptroller Munger, since she has been in office, has made a concerted effort to reach out to the black community, going to and from various, appearing in WVON, the Chicago Defender, talking with black businesses, helping them get their much needed payments, being accessible. Very much in the grain of Judy Barr Topinka. It was hard to make this decision, and I'm sure that it will be controversial. I've even seen texts of people calling me sellout and calling me a traitor. But as a black person in good conscience, I don't know how I can vote for someone that voted to expand red light cameras. It's hard for me because I know how red light cameras impacted our community. When you talk about criminal justice reform, and when our party is talking about criminal justice reform, and you have a candidate that said that they wanted to expand the death penalty, even as we knew that it was wrong. When we have a candidate that will brag that they were one of the only two Democrats, to vote against the appointment of Roland Burris. Brag about that. That's a problem to the historic seat that was vacated by your president, because y'all know how I got some issues with the president. So in the race for comptroller, black folks, now I'm going to tell you a little secret. Because after this broadcast, trust and believe, there will be quite a few black elected officials who will now be forced to run to the front to attack my credibility, to say that what I am saying is wrong or not right. But I would challenge you to look at Illinois ilga.gov, ilga.gov, where the voting records are clear. In almost every case where there was a vote proposed, the Black Caucus very rarely ever supported this candidate. So now, as our community is being forced to make a choice, and we'll hear all the boogeyman stories, but I would only suggest that you take a look at the record on criminal justice reform and ask. Now, no one's going to tell you about it in public. But if you get a chance, ask somebody who was down in Springfield what kind of laws the opposition was proposing. And I'm sure that you will take pause as black people. So I'm just going to say that the What's in It for the Black People guide, we are picking Leslie Geisler Munger in that race. Now, I want to encourage any candidates, if you're out there and you want to come, you got a dispute, you want to come talk to us, you can come jump down live, send us an inbox, and we'll send you the address, and you can come in the studio, and we can talk to you live. All right. Moving on. We're going to go to the U.S. representative races that impact black folks the most. These are no-brainers. Bobby Rush, Danny Davis, and Robin Kelly. Now, some of you are going to say, well, what have they done? They haven't done anything, and I'm just upset, and I don't like them, and it's time for them to go. Well, guys, right now, until we have a transition plan, a tangible transition plan that allows us to work with our leaders or our people in Congress so that we don't just lose the seniority and have to start from scratch, I'm going to tell us we got to be a little bit more strategic. So, to people like my guy Patrick Brutus and them out there, Patrick, I know you out there. I appreciate all your support. We're going to support these guys, but we're going to use venues and forums like this to start making them be accountable. And we got to start talking about our transition. So in the U.S. House of Representative races, we are endorsing, we're encouraging you to support Bobby Rush, Danny Davis, and Robin Kelly. Now, next on your ballot, you're going to look at the races for state representative and state senate. State representatives, they run every 2 years. State senators, some have 2-year terms, and I believe 6-year terms. It's 2 and 6, or is it 2 and 4? Regardless, some of you will, in most cases in the black community, the state representative or a state senator is unopposed. So I'm going to encourage you to vote with your state rep or your state senator. But no free passes. What you have to start doing is asking them when you see them, what's in it for the black people? You know, we haven't had a budget in what's going on almost 2 years. And everybody wants to point and say, it's this guy. But we can't keep sitting back as our community suffers as 2 very rich, wealthy white guys waited out as our people are squeezed from both sides. So I'm going to encourage you to vote for your state reps and your state senators this time. But we got to ask them what's in it for the black people when they're down in Springfield. All right. Next up, the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District 6-year term. You've got to choose 3. All right. So, in that, I'm going to encourage you to support long-term Commissioner Barbara McGowan, punch 51 or touch 51. My good friend Mariana T. Sparopoulos, 52. And then I want to encourage you to support someone who has gained my support and may get the first Asian What's in It for the Black People Award. I want to encourage you all to support Josina Morita, who will be the first Cook County elected Asian American. But I'm going to tell you about, and I'm going to just take a small moment to give Josina a brag moment. I've been pretty hard on Josina because, you know, I've been looking at her kind of suspect. But I had the pleasure and the opportunity to attend a banquet with her in which one of the people that was on this list that sent me off was talking about their record on criminal justice reform. And when she did not have to speak up, Josina spoke up, stood up, and represented for our community. She could have sat there, she could have been quiet, but she didn't. And that is what we're going to need. Now, that is what we need in our allies. People who will not sit by and just watch it happen, but speak up and speak out when they see it's wrong. So Josina, hey guys, we're putting a star by Josina's name. All right? Shout out to Mariana Sparopoulos. We want to see her remain president. Now, there is also a 2-year term to fill the seat of Patrick Thompson, who is now a Chicago City Alderman. Shout out to Patrick. That's my homie. So in that, we are picking number 58, Marty Durkin. All right, so water wreck is out the way. I do want to remind you all, shameless plug, my beautiful, lovely wife, Commissioner Carrie Steele, is a commissioner at the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. And as I continue to push the envelope and fight for our community, it probably doesn't always make people happy. So I'm going to need my family out there to support my lovely wife as she continues her political career as well. Now, I just want to say she don't have nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but you know they probably mad at what I got to say. So I'm going to need you all to wrap your arms around my beautiful, lovely wife, but not so close. Okay. All right. Now, we're going to move on down to the state's attorney's race. You know what? I could spend an hour talking about the state's attorney's race, but we're not gonna. We're not gonna. Kim Foxx all day. You already know. If we catch you not voting for Kim Foxx, we gonna skin you. Your black card is revoked, and you out of here. Kim Foxx all day. Number 62. Clerk of the Circuit Court. What more can I say? Number 64, Dorothy Brown. Hey, y'all, she got her phone back. She got her phone back. We supporting Dorothy Brown. In the race for the Recorder of Deeds, we're going to talk about, in the western suburbs, Karen Yarborough. She's unopposed because, you know, she taking all comers. So we see you out there. We see you out there, Madam Recorder of Deeds, out in the western suburbs holding it down for Proviso. Also appreciate you putting on the young brothers, ensuring that they are able to participate in what's in it for the black people. Thank you very much. And now here's where it gets good. Ladies and gentlemen, it's often, maybe what a lot of people don't realize is that judges are the most important people on the ballot to you individually. How many of you all have ever been sued somebody, had to go to court, got a ticket? The elected official that you are most likely to have an interaction with, positive or negative, is a judge. But so often, we know little to nothing about the judges because there's so many of them. So many of them. You know, you go in the booth, you got president, you know who you're going to pick. You know, you're going to pick in the comptroller's race who you're going to pick. You're going to pick, Then you get to that section and it's the judges. And it seems like it's just pages and pages and pages of judges. You probably know one or two of them because you heard they jingle on WVON. But for the most part, all you know is it's some O'Sullivan, O'Shea, it's a O'Malley, it's a something. Somebody Irish is running for judge, and we got to find the black people in there. So after you look through the list and you find the black people on the list, then you kind of just say, you know what? Because we are black people and we're forgiving, we just say yes, 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 yes. So here's a little known fact. Shh, they don't want you to know this. Most judges are retained because of black people. You see, black people just vote yes. White folks be like, you know what? Yes, they might go 1, 2, 3, no. 1, 2, 3, no. Or 1 no, yes. And mix it up. They like to just throw a monkey wrench in it. But we like to be compliant. We like to help the Democrats. But what would you say if I told you that on the list of judges that come on the list that comes to you in the mail, there are the same people that you are marching and protesting against are on those lists. And they're protected by the enormity of the list and confusing. So you know what they do? They put a box on there that says, just vote yes for everybody. And guess what that does? When you vote yes for everybody, guess what? All the bad guys come back in. And because we live in Cook County, they all wear a D. So who tells you that's a bad judge? That's a good judge. Vote yes, vote no. Are you like me? Do you get down and you start like picking? Or do you go into the booth with a piece of paper telling you who was the judge that put the gag order on Laquan McDonald case? Do you know that there are judges on the list that supported, that were prosecutors during the John Burge era? Do you know that? Do you know that you'll vote yes for them, even though they tortured your brother and sister? Did you know that? Because all you do is you doing your thing for the party. And so as long as they do right by the party, not by black people, then we wind up wondering why J. Maul Green got a $500,000 bond for a $2,000 crime. That wasn't even a crime. Because you voted for him. You said okay. You said, man, I'm not voting for all them judges. That's too much. And so they count on that. Now let me tell you another little trick. Did you know that for a judge to be elected or to be retained, it's called retention. So if you want them to be retained, you push the button and you say yes and they get to keep their job. But did you know that for a judge to be retained, they have to get 60% of the vote of the people that vote for them have to say yes. So if you vote no, if they get 4 out of 10 no's, guess what? They don't come back. Now, what I find interesting about the 60-40 is that when you do the math and the fractions and you get the algebra together, it's 3/5. What's the symbolism of 3/5? 3/5 of a man. You get it, right? Prisoner. I'm gonna stop. That's for another lesson. That's another lesson. So, what I want to encourage you all to do today is take a moment and instead of going in fired up to run, I want to encourage you to keep voting for Hillary. But I want you to be enthusiastic about the complicated part of the ballot. I want you to go into the voting booth, and I want you to go in knowing what judges were the ones that did us in. Now, I'm not telling you that I got the judges voting Bible, but what I am telling you is, with a little simple Google search, you can find out who was down with John Burge. Did you know that they nominated someone that put a black man in contempt of court and sent him to jail for 6 years? They want you to vote for him without telling you. Because if you just vote yes, retain all, guess what? The next time you get mouthy in court, you could go to jail for 6 years for 6 years for contempt. Think about his family, his friends, his mother, father, home, job, 6 years. But if you vote yes to retain all judges, you will be voting for our demise. So let's go through the list, and I'm going to give you kind of how it breaks down. And I'm really not going to go through every single judge. I'm going to talk about a few that I want to just make sure we highlight. We're going to just tell you about the no's, okay? So that when you go into the voting booth, the people that you want to look for, and you want to take a circle, and you just want to say, no matter what I do, if I skip everything else, I need to put a no in these boxes. And I'm going to tell you why. But before we get to that, have you downloaded or shared your copy of the What's in It for the Black People sample ballot? Do you feel like you're getting any good information? Is anything that I'm telling you here helping you out? If you're out there, give me a shout out. Let me know that if you want me to end this broadcast and shut it off, I can stop it now. But if this information is helpful to you, let me know you're out there. Can you share? Can you just hit that button and share? Can you let people know, please? What's up? Ben's Bash joining us. Shout out to Reggie Ford, Nanette Jones, Christina Deloach, Yolanda Yodi Yo, Kenny Jackson, Mark Allen, Jermaine Marbury, Melvin Griffin, Riddell Drakeford, Deborah Ray, Sean Lett, what's up to the homie? Jim Allen, Dewan Russell, Gianno Caldwell, shout out to Fox. Hey, y'all know Gianno got me on Fox. Asked what's in it for the black people yesterday on international TV. Shout out to James Big Slim Davis, Joe Wordlaw, Robert Barclay, Darnell Gifted Barber Jones, to my beautiful, lovely wife, Commissioner Carrie Steele. Roberto Sepulveda, Sean Cochran, Otis Armstrong. Let's see who else is out there. Jason Harris, all the way from the U of I. Marshall Grant, Doma T. Pongo, my beautiful sister, Tennille Jackson, Camilla Williams, and Sadiq. All of you all out there. All right, so we're about to get into this right now with the judges. So we are going to start with the judge of appellate courts for the Epstein vacancy. In that race, we are going to recommend number 71, Eileen O'Neill Burke. Now, for all intents and purposes, I do not believe that she is related to Alderman Burke. That has not been confirmed, so we're going to go ahead and support number 71. All right. In the Judge of Appellate Court's Quinn vacancy, I'm going to encourage black people. Now, this lady is black, but I'm going to encourage you to vote no for Bertina Lampkin. Do not retain. She was a loyal Burge-era prosecutor and has a reputation of being known as hang 'em high Bertina Lampkin amongst black judges as well as among people that have been in her courtroom. Now, you know how it works. Sometimes some people are on a team and some people on the other team. I'm going to say in this case, please consider a no retain. All right. Judge of the Circuit Court in the Beeble Jr. vacancy. I want you to punch number 73 for John Fitzgerald. Like, John is of my generation. You know, I met this brother on the campaign trail, and he is an awesome, dynamic, and outgoing brother. I'm looking and expecting big things from him in the future. This is the type of black judge that we need that will make your mama and daddy proud. So, make sure you look for number 73, John Fitzgerald. Like, John Fitzgerald, like, is a brother. All right, we're going to go to the Circuit Court Elrod vacancy, number 74, Patricia Fernandez. Judge of the Circuit Court in the Hogan vacancy, Allison C. Conlon. In the Howlett vacancy, Alexandra Alex Gillespie. Judge of the Circuit Court in the Johnson vacancy, we're going to go with number 77, Carolyn Gallagher. In the Judge of the Circuit Court in the Karnezis vacancy, we're going to take Mary Kathleen McHugh. In the Judge of the Circuit Court in the Love vacancy, we're going to take Brendan O'Brien. In the Judge of the Circuit Court O'Brien vacancy, we're going to take Mary O'Donohue Hannon, number 80. And in the Palmer vacancy, we're going to take number 81, Susan L. Ortiz. In the Richetti Grussel vacancy, we're going to take number 82, Daniel Patrick Duffy. In the Walsh vacancy, we're going to take number 83, Patrick Joseph Powers. Now, we're coming up on the sub-circuits. Now, let me tell you why sub-circuit judges are important, particularly to black people. Circuit court judges are countywide and they make rulings countywide. But what we found was that if you paid attention, I said a whole bunch of O's and Duffys and just a variety. There's a large, high propensity of Irish people to become judges. And so back in the 80s, the Black Caucus teamed up with the Republicans in Springfield to create judicial court subcircuits, which allowed black people the opportunity to determine their own fates because they were able to be elected in smaller spaces where their community was concentrated. So it is important, it is very important in the cases of the sub-circuit judges that we pay attention. So we're going to give you our picks for the sub-circuit judges. All right. In the first sub-circuit, the Brim vacancy, we're going to go with Jesse Outlaw. We're also going to go in the Hopkins vacancy, Rhonda Crawford. Now, when I picked Rhonda Crawford, there was a lot of people giving me a lot of slack because she was being indicted, etc. But let me just, when we talk about, and I'm going to come back to Rhonda Crawford because I do love Judge Miriam Ahmad, and I think that there will be an opportunity for her. But I want to make sure that black folks don't pile on the Rhonda Crawford piece, particularly when the party has decided to put some way more characters that are way more nefarious and have never been charged for what they've done. But now we want to indict this young lady. I'm going to say let's slow down and don't take our cues always from the media that doesn't look out for us. Because I bet you if you go down the list, I bet somebody else with an O in their name has done the same thing. So what I'm going to say is, while I recognize that the Crawford situation is a challenge and has been exacerbated, what I want to do is we want to do a couple things. We want to encourage Ed Burke and all those guys to find an appointment for Judge Miriam Ahmad, and we want to see you. We're going to ask you to go ahead and support Rhonda Crawford. All right. My challenge with a write-in candidacy becomes that it's very difficult. And with a challenging name, there's a misspelling, they'll spoil ballots, etc. And so what we don't want to do is give them another pick. We want to keep our sub-circuits, and then we want to tell them that we want Judge Ahmad appointed to a judgeship. So I'm not crazy. Thought this out. All right? Let's move on. In the second sub-circuit, we're going to go with D in the Savage vacancy, D. Renee Jackson. In the fourth sub-circuit, in the Kunkel vacancy, we are going to go with Edward J. King. In the fifth sub-circuit, that's important to black folks, We're going to go with, in the Edie Daniels vacancy, we're going to go with number 92, Leonard Murray. In the 5th sub-circuit, in the Stewart vacancy, we're going to go after we're going to support one of our own. Number 94, Fredrina M. Lyle, former alderman. Turns out to be one of the nicest ladies that I know and one of the biggest champions for black folks inside and outside the game, not scared to speak her mind. So we want to make sure that we get out and support Fredrina Lyle in the 5th sub-circuit. And we also want to hit Daryl Jones, number 96, who will be going for the Williams vacancy in the 5th sub-circuit. Now in the 6th sub-circuit, we're going to go with Eulela Evie de la Rosa in the Ponce de Leon vacancy. You know, even swap. 6th sub-circuit in the Santiago vacancy, we're going to go with Richard Cook. And in the 6th sub-circuit, we'll go with Anna Loftus. Now in the 7th sub-circuit for the Burrell vacancy, we're going to go with Marianne Jackson. For the Rifkin Carruthers vacancy, we're going to go with Patricia Pat Spratt. And then in the 9th sub-circuit, in the Berman vacancy, we'll go with Jerry Esrig. In the 11th sub-circuit, in the 10th sub-circuit, the Howard vacancy, we're going to go with Eve Marie Riley. In the 11th sub-circuit, we're going to go with Kelly vacancy, Catherine Ann Schneider. In the Zwick vacancy, in the 11th sub-circuit, William B. Sullivan. In the 12th sub-circuit, Casimir Reski vacancy, Marguerite Ann Quinn. In the 12th sub-circuit, the Mathene vacancy, we're going to go with James Leonard Allegretti. In the 12th sub-circuit, we'll also go with Carrie Hamilton and James Hamlin and Ketke K. Steffen. In the 14th sub-circuit for the Murphy vacancy, we're going to go with Matthew Link. There's where we are in the judicial vacancies and sub-circuits. Now, we are going to, this is where it gets sticky. If you do not want to retain the judges that may have not been good to our community, that do not have the best interests of do not have the best interests of our community in mind, then you are going to see a line on your ballot that says, ballot for judicial candidates seeking retention in office. Now, if you check yes in that box, it means that you are saying yes to every single judge. Get that? If you check yes, you're saying yes to every single judge. Now, how many of you feel like you want to elect every single judge and every single judge needs to be retained? You out there? Roberto, you think every judge needs to be retained? Sean, what about you? Dewan, Otis? Any of y'all all think that every judge should be retained? If you do, then you vote yes. But the What's in it for the Black People sample ballot is recommending that you vote no. By voting no, it allows you to select the judges individually and stop bad judges from getting back in office. Included in this batch of judges are judges that were former John Burge accomplices, Laquan McDonald decision makers, and judges that have upheld wrongful convictions of people who were eventually proven innocent. It is here, right here, where we can make the most political impact on the daily lives of black people. So remember, if you vote yes, you are saying that all the judges will be reelected without ever having to be scrutinized. So I'm going to encourage you, when it says ballot for judicial candidates seeking retention in office, vote no. Now, it's going to get tricky. See, they make it all mixed up so you don't mess up. Now, there's going to also be a question that says, shall each person listed be retained in office as judge of the appellate court, 1st Judicial District? That is Joy Virginia Cunningham. She is what's in it for the black people. So please vote yes. 201 yes. Then you're going to come to another point in your ballot where they're going to ask, Shall each of the persons listed be retained in office as a judge of the Circuit Court of Cook County? Now, this is where we get good. This is where we as black people take control of our own fate. The list of judges is infinite. When I say infinite, there's got to be at least 50 people that you got to vote for. But we want you to be very deliberate in the people that you vote no for. And here's why. When you go to each of the persons shall be retained as a judge of the Circuit Court of Cook County, we need you to look for these numbers and vote no. If you punch these numbers, you will vote no. Number 258, Gene Cleveland Bernstein, as recommended by the Cook County Bar Association. Vote no. Number 234. Number 234. Charles Patrick Burns. Judge Burns served as a judge, as a prosecutor during the John Burge era and has been rewarded by being a judge. Number 304, Ann Finley Collins. Vote no. She blocked the appointment of black judges. Quite frankly, she is the reason why Judge Miriam Ahmad is not a judge. 304, Ann Finley Collins. Vote no. 232, Nicholas Ford. Vote no. Judge Ford was a Burge-era prosecutor. Vote no. Number 210, Vincent Goagan. Vote no. 210. Judge Goagan issued the gag order in the Laquan McDonald case. Number 262, K.M. Hanlon. Vote no. Previously ran as a Republican, only switched to Democrat to get elected in Cook County. 222, Bertina Lampkin. Vote no. Known as Hang 'em High amongst black judges, Lampkin was a Burge prosecutor, has defended wrongful convictions, and has been known to be particularly hard on black defendants. Vote no. 240, Diane J. Larson. Blocked redistricting reforms. Now, again, 240, Diane J. Larson, Madigan ally, blocked redistricting reforms. Number 242, Daniel Joseph Lynch. Daniel Joseph Lynch, remember that name, Lynch. 242. Judge Lynch sentenced a black man to 6 years for contempt of court and was removed by the Illinois Supreme Court. Yet his name is on the list to tell us to vote back. 6 years in jail for contempt of court. Remember that. Daniel Joseph Lynch. 242, vote no. Number 270, Patrick Murphy. Publicly opposed Chief Judge Evans in the attempted power grab. Now, there's been some controversy, and I know that Judge Murphy has a wonderful fan club. But the challenge is, the fact of the matter is, black people cannot afford to allow our power to be diminished. Now, we may have to talk to Judge Evans, but we cannot allow the chief judge to be taken away. And so, for those of you that were vigilant in supporting our efforts to keep Judge Evans the chief judge, 270, vote no, Patrick T. Murphy. 282, Daniel James Pierce. Led the public charge against Chief Judge Evans. If you were on my Facebook page, you saw the letter encouraging the judges to take out Chief Judge Evans. vote no, 282, Daniel James Pierce. And finally, number 206, Erwin J. Solganick, vote no, as recommended by the Cook County Bar Association. Now, I'm going to tell you the judges to vote yes for in alphabetical order, and their number. 255, Robert Balanoff. 299, Stephen James Bernstein. 211, Robert W. Bertucci. 259, Kathleen Marie Burke. 297, John P. Callahan. 301, Bonita Coleman. 251, Paula M. DeLeo. 213, Deborah Mary Dooling. 253, Lawrence J. Dunford. Pay close attention. 215, Timothy C. Evans for Chief Judge. 305, Daniel J. Gallagher. 235, Denise Kathleen Filan. 279, John C. Griffin. 203, Sophia Hall. 291, Edward S. Hammerning. 285, Judge Bill Hooks. Hey, I heard you out there, Mandine. 229, Arnett Hubbard. 217, Cheryl D. Ingram. 219, Raymond L. Jagaleski. 307, Sharon O. Johnson. 309, Lindsey D. Jones. 263, Thomas J. Kelly. 237, Judge John P. Kirby. Special shout out to John P. Kirby. Judge Kirby is doing some very innovative things with alternative sentencing that has been very beneficial to our community. Want to make sure we send a shout out to him. 295, Gary W. Cole. 287, Thomas V. Lyons II. 311, Terrence McCarthy. 223, William O. Mackey. 293, Daniel B. Malone. 249, Leroy K. Martin Jr. over in the criminal courts. 227, James Patrick McCarthy. 265, Claire Elizabeth McWilliams. 267, Mary Mikva. 289, Raymond W. Mitchell. Woo! A lot of them, huh? Keep going. See? This list is so long and it's so complicated, but it's the most important names. And so they count on you just pushing that button so you don't have to deal with all this. But remember the names I told you. All right, we got to finish this list. 283 for Clerk of the Circuit Court, Alan F. Murphy. 271, Timothy P. Murphy. 243, Kathleen M. Pantel. 313, Sandra G. Ramos. 273, Jim Ryan. 245, Kevin M. Sheehan. 225, Sharon M. Sullivan. 315, Susan Kennedy Sullivan. 247, John D. Turner. 275, Edward Washington II. And finally, number 207, Alexander P. White. Those are the recommended judges by the What's in It for the Black People What's in It for the Black People Voters Guide. Now, we're almost to the end. Almost to the end. On your ballot, you will find questions at the end in which you will be asked to vote yes or no to. Now, I'm going to give you some insight that these ballot questions were chosen. These are what are called non-binding referendums. Non-binding referendums mean that you vote for them so we can know what your public opinion is. But just because you vote for them does not mean that they're going to happen. Oftentimes, these measures are put on the ballot by people to encourage turnout in the hopes that they will turn out because they believe that these questions, if they vote for them, will become reality. Well, I will remind you that Chicago voted overwhelmingly for a school board. It has not become law. So, I'm going to give you my rationale for why we chose the answers. So, on the Earned Sick Time Employee Act, I said vote no. Now, in my opinion, this is a non-binding referendum designed to make black people turn out to vote with no intentions of actually passing the bill. We should only consider this when it is a binding referendum because it puts an extra squeeze on small black businesses, of which I happen to be one. Increased penalties for gun crimes. Again, I say vote no. Maze, with all the violence in Chicago, how could you possibly say vote no? Because Illinois and Chicago have the toughest gun laws in the country, and it hasn't stopped one shooting. So what I am suggesting is What we need is to stop passing laws to limit access and start passing laws that create economic opportunity. Again, non-binding referendum. Should Chicago work with the federal government on infrastructure? Well, duh. Yeah, we should. We should get federal funds to build our city, state, and county, to rebuild our bridges and roads. Yes, we should work with the federal government. Although, again, it is a question that was designed to keep another question off the ballot. I'll leave that for another day. All right, because you can only have 3 questions. Now, people will ask, and this is a printed out copy of the What's in It for the Black People Voters Guide. It's like 9, 10, 11, 12 pages that you can get where? At www.maysjacksonsaid.com. You can download a copy and take this into the polling place with you. You can take this into the polling place with you and go line by line by line by line. It is legal. They may try to tell you no, but it is legal. Now, that's it for the What's in It for the people, for the Black People Voters Guide. Do you have any questions? We got people out there. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to spend about 5 more minutes taking your questions if you got any. If you got something you want answered, let me know. I want to send a special shout out. You know what? I'm going to try and do it from my computer because I can't really see you guys as well over there. So let's see who we can get some shouts out and some love to. And in the meantime, if you got any questions, you let me know and we'll try and answer those questions for you. Darnell Gifted, Barbara Williams, what's up, brother? What's up, Joel? What's up, Sean Cochran? Roberto, Dewan, Otis Armstrong, James Big Slim Davis, Jason Harris, Dewan Russell, Freddie Baez, what's up? When am I gonna get me some effing, man? What's up, Sadiq, Yolanda Yodi Yo, Melvin Griffin, Riddell Drakeford, Deborah Reed, Demetrius D. Rather, Reggie Ford. Reggie, me and you, we got some issues we got to talk about. Christine DeLoach, Nanette Jones, Mark Allen. Let's see who else we got out there. Jim Allen, Robert Barclay. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? Let me see. All right, let me try over here. All right, here we go. Guys, I'm trying to get to them if you got any. Joe Wordlaw, no, Willie Cochran is... is Willie Cochran up for re-election? No, Willie Cochran is not up for re-election. He is no longer the committeeman, and the aldermanics don't come up until the mayor's race comes up. Thanks, Talay. I appreciate the love. What's up, Muhammad Abnar, for joining. James, I honestly have not had a chance to look at the Soul Slate picks. I will go to your page and check that out very shortly. I would hope that you would take this opportunity to share mine as well. I'm not going to disparage anybody's, anybody that wants to be civically engaged. What I'm trying to do is build, not break these years. So where we can agree, let's agree, and let's not fight. Talay, you said, what's the best way to find out how judges vote on issues that pertain to people like Black lives and black people? Well, the best way to get the information, really, Talay, is to, I did my own research. You're going to look at ratings of different judicial associations, but there's really no What's in It for the Black People measurement tool. So I tend to look at the ratings of the Cook County Bar Association, and then after we look at the ratings of the Cook County Bar Association, I tend to take another deep dive where I will Google their name and see what comes up and see how they've ruled, if they've had any rulings that made the news, right? And if they've got rulings that made the news, then I say, well, how would that ruling impact the black community? When you look at the judge that sentenced Jamal Green, I hate to keep using him as an example, but she sentenced him to an exorbitant bail. Well, she needs to know right now, they're all watching this, and probably what you all don't realize is that there are people freaking out right now, because if this catches on and you all pay attention to these races, then a lot of the BS that they think that they can get away with, they can't get away with. And see, now they can't hide it on the news because we have our own, or bury the stories because we have our own way of talking to people. That's why we're doing this. This was what I like to consider a political education. You know, people, everybody's got to put an opinion politically, but there's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of behind the scenes maneuvering. And what I try to do is provide you with some of the insights that I have beyond just what we read in the newspaper, because a lot of times I'm in the back area. Now, I tell you, it's a lot of black elected officials that support what we do. They just can't speak on it yet because we got to give them either some money power or some people power, but we working on that. Let me see who else's questions we got out here. Was Todd Stroger proven right by having the 1 cent tax? I would tell you, Talay, that Todd Stroger was just done wrong. All the way around. I think that there were a lot of people that were opportunistic. I think that Todd Stroger's been vindicated time and time and time again. I just don't know if Todd had the strength of personality that was necessary to deal with what he was dealing with. But in my opinion, yes, he's been vindicated. Hey, Otis, I'm glad you got you a Leslie Munger yard sign. What we need you to do is start letting black people know this lady said she would commit the death penalty with her own bare hands if she could. Bro, every law that she proposed was detrimental to black folks. She was the law and order candidate. When Anita Alvarez needed somebody to go to in Springfield, she went to your girl. And now she wants to handle our money. She ain't never been a friend of ours. Ask how many black people are in her office. You know, when you look at Leslie Munger, bro, since she got here, she's been doing the due diligence. Man, her top, I can't lie, man. One of her top ranking officials is a black dude. And he has been diligent in making sure that black people and black social service agencies get their money. And, you know, I feel like it's disingenuous for her opponent to be like, I would not pay the legislators now. You stop. What else you gonna do? You gonna tell, what you gonna say to the king? If you ain't gonna say nothing to the king, then I don't know how much of a fiscal watchdog you're gonna really be. All right. Thanks, Otis, for grabbing that lawn sign. Thanks, James, for sharing all my information. Christine, so when judges aren't retained, what happens to the vacancy? Special election appointment, left it open until next election? Actually, I believe that there is an appointment. But, Christine, what I think is happening, see, if we play around in this judge stuff, then they're going to know that we're watching, and that if they do it wrong, because remember, they get to be anonymous. So now they're going to start making picks that we like or think about. And so let's make sure that we've got good quality judicial candidates to go and fill those slots. Yolanda Yodi Yo. We've been perishing for lack of the knowledge and insight. Maze, thanks for your work digging deep. You know what, Yolanda, thank you. It is my pleasure. I love sharing this information, and I love the opportunity to share with our people. Look, guys, what I do does not make me popular with the politicians and the elected officials. It really doesn't. Whether you agree with me or you don't agree with me, it doesn't always make me popular. But I don't think that we're ever going to get free if we keep being misled, right? We do these things, we just roll with them. And I'm reading this list and I'm saying to myself, to my party, how could you? How could, knowing everything that happened with John Burge, how could you send me a recommendation for somebody that was his accomplice? How could you? I trust you. You are, this is the party that my community eats. We vote 99%. 99% in your interest. And you have, how could you send me a list that tells me to vote for somebody that tortured our brothers? How? Do you? Because they think we're suckers. They think we forget. They think, oh, just slap a D on it. When a person tells you, when a person brags that they are the one of only two people as a Democrat brag that they went against the black candidate that the rest of the whole party agreed to support. But now you want to be on our team? You want to come to my community and be all brand new? When you said you could give them more, put more red light cameras in their neighborhoods. We forgot about all that. Guys, I want to be faithful and loyal to the black community. I do. But I need your help. It's hard to tell this truth. This ain't a Jesse Jackson moment. I'm not about to pass the plate. I'm not going to ask you to give me no money, but I am going to ask you to share this list. This list is not the genesis of our freedom, but it's a part of it. It's a part when we know. Think about the gravity of somebody sending you a list to support as black people with a straight face. Didn't even take the time to put a black person on the mailer. Y'all, when do they respect us? When do we stand up and make our elected officials more scared of us than them? See, we got to do our part. Black folks don't want to give no money. I get it. We ain't got that much to give. But you also don't want to give your vote or your power, your people power. You got money power, you got people power. All I'm asking you to do is share your people power. Take the What's in It for the Black People Voters Guide and share it. Tell your friends, look, you don't got to agree with everyone, but can we agree that we don't want to send back no more birds prosecutors? Can we just agree to that? I mean, think about somebody hooking a battery up to your nuts. You voting yes. You are voting yes. If you don't take the time to look, you don't got to use my guide. You don't got to use the What's in It for the Black People guide. But you need to know, don't let them hide. It's like they trying to blend in with the crowd. And then we got to start asking the questions, how come there's so many O's and Mallies and everythings, and it's only like 6 Washingtons? What we going to do about that? Look at here. You got to ask yourself a question. And you know, I'm going to speak on behalf of the black judges that were slated, and then we're going to get out of here. I want you to pay attention to the fact that, with the exception of John Fitzgerald Like, every black judge that was slated by the party lost. Every single one of them. With the exception of John Like. Which is why y'all got to put y'all numbers behind them. How does that happen if the party was supporting them? But they sent all these names out. Hey, look, I hope that you were able to get something from this broadcast. I'd love to be able to share these with you and keep on informing. But ladies and gentlemen, I need you to go to www.maysjacksonsaid.com. Get the What's in It for the Black People Voters Guide, and I need you to share it. Share it, share it, share it. Share it in your groups. Print it out. Take it to church. Copy it, paste it. Get it going. Give our people the ammunition that they need when they go in that voting booth, so that when they sit across from that judge is thinking the same way you thinking. He thinking, man, I got to be right, because I sure don't want to get on the What's in It for the Black People list. All right, ladies and gentlemen, any other questions? Anybody? Going once, going twice. Hey, y'all, we're going to talk about that piece, the Snapple tax. Talk about all the people that's getting rich one side or the other. Also want to encourage everybody to come out and see Congressman John Lewis, my fraternity brother, who will be at the Harold Washington Cultural Center this Saturday at 9:30. Shout out to Lauren. Shout out to Lauren Harris for putting that together. You guys get out there, see John Lewis, civil rights icon. If you saw the movie Glory, he was the young man in there like, Glory. You know, he had the little cool, funny voice. He still got it all grown up. All right. Hey, y'all. It's your man, Maze Jackson. It's been real. We have been discussing the Maze Said. Excuse me, not the Maze Said. We have been discussing the What's in It for the Black People Voters Guide. Please get your copy. Take it to the polling place with you and share. Thank you all for coming out. Let me see who's out there. Robert. Oop, lost y'all for a second. Hold on. Here we go. Robert Barclay. Otis Armstrong, Yolanda Yodio, Pastor Williams, DeJuan Russell, Marcus Jefferson, Sidney Brooks, James Big Slim Davis, Michael Smith, DeJuan, I got you, DeJuan, Talay Perry, Joe Wordlaw, Muhammad Abnar, Sly Townsend, Ernest Perry, EP. What's up, man? You famous, boy. I seen your commercials. Doc Walls, Deborah Reed, Demetrius Rather, Vince Bass. What up, V Greasy? Bring it on home. Yolanda Yodio, Kenny Jackson, Mark Allen, Jermaine Marbury, Reggie Ford, Nanette Jones, Christine Deloach, Sean Lett, Riddell Drakeford, Jim Allen, Gianno Caldwell, the Black Republican, my beautiful, lovely wife, Commissioner Carrie Steele. Please, baby, please. Roberto Sepulveda, that's my dude. No, it's my last hope for the Black Latino Coalition. Roberto. Darnell Gifted, Barbara Williams, Marshall M.G. Grant, Doma T. Pongo, Jason Harris with the ILL, Tennille Jackson, Cammie Williams, and Chauncey Colquitt. Yo, it's been a blast. If you all can, if you don't mind, take a moment, share the broadcast, tell your friends. Remember to ask. Look, can y'all do me a favor? Can you imagine they face if every time somebody come to your church or you ask them what's in it for the black people? Just imagine if we could just get everybody asking what's in it for the black people. Because you know they're going to be in your pulpit. You know they're gonna be at your party. Ask them. Look them dead in the face. What's in it for the black people? All right, it's your boy Maze Jackson. Once again, we'll be back. Hey, if y'all enjoyed this, let me know. Send me a note. I love to do some more. We love to have some more classes. All right, peace.